and you know, we're working on this whole river thing, right? Not really. We haven't begun. We haven't started at all. So, what's a river, right? A river is a flow of water that goes from, you know, higher elevation eventually, and then empties out somewhere else, or terminates, you know, somewhere else. So this could just be like a pond or a lake. But I'm thinking here, we'll illustrate with flying, that we will go into the mountain here. They're clipped out a bit. We'll go into the mountain and make like a reservoir thing, and then we'll take that and turn it into a mighty river that flows all the way through town here. You know, underneath all that and beneath the thing, and then we can have it go, you know, whoop, almost cracked there, and then we can have a gigantic, wonderful waterfall there, here in the shadow of the groves. And I think that could be a fun, very long-term project. Not least because it'll be like sort of high up, but you know, I know how to make a canal. A river is just many times larger, so I'm sure it'll be easy. Now, one thing that we're probably gonna need is like a bunch of kelp. Sounds strange. I will explain. So, once, whenever I was supposed to be working and I was talking about Minecraft, I was still technically working. It's not important. Forget I said the first part. You know, oh no, not a phantom. Yeah, so I was waiting for food to cook, which is an important part of my job, and I was talking about Minecraft, and this would have been a while ago, but someone was like, "Oh yeah, you can get water sources from kelp." So like if you plant, which is to say, if you plant kelp in flowing water, then it won't be flowing anymore. So like it'll grow into it and then make it a true water source. There you go. I haven't done it, but it's been explained to me that that's how it works. So we're going to go with that. We'll just go out to the ocean and get a bunch of kelp whenever we're ready. The first thing we need to do though is grab some glass here. Some glass, a lot of glass. So we need to protect the village here and the lower village, that is to say. They're both a village. One village will have a wonderful river, and they'll have totally forgotten about these people down here. That's just the way it goes. I've been attacked by whom? Oh, by a skeleton. You know, the village we have set up down here is not very safe. It doesn't have any doors. So if anybody gets in, yeah, you know, they'll be all a shambles. You know, we have good light coverage, but light isn't everything. I mean, it is, but it's not everything if I'm careless. The good old horse is still in here and safe. I need to bring him like an apple or something. Do horses eat carrots? I mean, I know they do. I just don't think they do in the game. Yeah. He thinks I'm taunting it. It is rearing its legs at me. It's not impressed. Well, you know. Me and that horse will figure it out. It's a good horse. I didn't like drag it down here. It likes being underground. This horse is here too. It's not important. I mean, all horses are very good and important creatures, you know, but that specific horse, that's not the important one. The important one is the one inside of the horse's enclosure. So what we're doing here, we've got the wall, yeah. So we'll probably put like a pool at the bottom and set up some fishermen spaces. We don't want it to be like a narrow thing though. We want it to be like a deep place that you could, I don't know, swim, look at if you were so inclined, you know. It can't look shoddy. Plus, digging is a thing that I love. So let's get to it. And by let's get to it, I mean let's fill in the wall here. Heartbreaking that I can't actually, like, figure out where any of the things are at before I start putting blocks down. Just absolute agony. But hey, what are you gonna do? Do it anyway. Alright. So now there's no way out. Mwahahaha. I mean, you could just go here and go up. But you know, there's no way out. Cuz this is going to be like we're going to do like a little beneath the river fisherman's hut setup in there. That'll be a good place for that. And then we need, what, like a wall that just goes here as well? Yeah, seems fine. Alternate title, Wall of Glass. Because we need to expand these people's living quarters and everything, given that right now it is, you know, some beds and one very nice bat. But equally important is, I don't... Alright, how do you draw straight lines, self? So we can just go up a little higher. You know, is it more wasteful to use a block where we may not need it, or to pay attention to what we're doing? Probably to pay attention to what we're doing. That seems like it could take like a super long time. Whereas just putting blocks down where I sort of might want them is okay. After all, I can always make more sand. Make more sand. I don't know if you can, actually. I can make more glass, though. I can find more sand. I definitely can do that. Speaking of, we are now out of glass. Yeah, so we can have this, you know, this will be the fisherman thing, the outpost, you could look there. And then another bigger one there. Because from all the way up at the top, you know, the river will start all the way up there. We're going to do it and then have, like, this descending area here. I'll demonstrate with my hand in front of my face how the river will be. That will be very sensible. I kept saying to myself, maybe one day you'll fix, like, swimming up there. And maybe one day I will. Maybe. Alright, we have run out of sand. This is a tragedy. I definitely have some somewhere. But where? Right here? An excellent answer. Alright, this'll get us plenty more sand, you know, sand for a whole work week. And we have like a bunch of coal blocks. Oh yeah. That's good stuff right there. If you only basically use one auto smelter, why not have the very, very classiest of fuel? Alright, speaking of plans, it's time to fill up our buckets. So theoretically, once I'm ready to make the whole river right, so we can just start like over here maybe, even though it's not logical. Well, I mean, really we should start over there. I mean, yes, it's actually incredibly clear that we should start over there. After all, logically, the river has to start at the mountain. Hello, Elliot. Alright, the only question here is how excessive to make it. Probably at least a little bit, right? Yeah, I mean, what's the point of doing a small project? We don't want to mess up too much of the incline of the mountain, though, as it is, you know, very important. We'll just go like so, and then we can begin what's likely to be like a super long undertaking. This is exciting. No, we can just do little bits at a time, and then whenever I get bored, I'll abandon it like everything else. All right, I think actually those were, yeah, we forgot the principles of water sources there. There weren't enough to start with. All right. Let's just, you know, be mature adults about it and make water the old-fashioned way. Alright. Much better. Now with this here, you see, you could do water like this. And that's fine. No one would blame you for it. You know, it would be reputable. But I've heard of a kelp-based system, which is what we're going to do here. Really, we're just gonna grab it once we throw a little bit of water here, and then we'll see what's going on. First, we'll need kelp, which is, of course, readily available. Even more readily available when you fly. Now, I don't know if I have any laying around. Fortunately, all of this is exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, how much kelp do we need? I mean, some. You get an absolute truckload, right? So kelp grows upward. So as long as you don't break the bottom one, it just keeps on growing. And it's just absolutely zounds of it. I don't know all the stuff you can do with it. What I can do with it is put it in a box and forget about it typically. But if it works the way that it's supposed to, and I see no reason why the person that I was talking to about Minecraft would deceive me, although it could happen, you know, people are very sneaky. All right, you can't swim fast while you're eating carrots. Hey, Natasha. How are you? What are you doing? Okay, so, you know, we've got the underground thing that we're working on. We're gonna make all of this a river starting... We're probably gonna hollow out a little bit of this just for, you know, the RP of it, so that there'll be like a big water source there. But we're gonna like make a river that just cuts all the way in here. Indeed. Exactly. But we gotta start at the source of, like, you know, the spawn mountain, and then probably just continue it all the way through here, and then terminate at an entirely sick waterfall that goes right there. And yeah, that should take me like a super long time. Either that, or I won't do it, and it will take very little time at all. But right now, we're gonna see how this kelp thing works. All right, so you can either plant it in running water or not. You can't. But if we plant it here and it grows, I'm given to understand that it would make the source blocks above it. Do I have bones? Fortunately, I have bones. Can you bone milk kelp? I mean, probably, right? Probably? Alright, it works. Perfection. Alright, so now all we gotta do, we could either get a lot of bones for all of this, or you can just drop a kelp everywhere, right? Not on stone? Obviously not on stone. Okay, so you can put it on anything that the... No, not on anything. You can do it quick enough to where once you have some water down, you can just throw it on the bottom, and before long, you'll have water all over the place. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. And then as they grow, like, stuff will happen, or whatever. Yeah, good. Very good. Much quicker than trying to do, you know, my old canal style. Only in a water source, not flowing. Yeah. Yeah, so here, so when they grow, they make the flowing water above them a source. And that will in turn, you know, like grow to make the whole thing. See? Ah, yes! Marvelous! Yeah, this is really living. So, so this is going to be awesome in applications for, like, the bottom of the river. So you do a layer, and then we can throw it there, and then we just, like, up on the walls have a whole cascading thing down, and then it'll all grow up, and then it'll push a water source all the way up to the top, I think. This could be wonderful. This, or it won't work. But, so, like, right here, it's not as good because the water is, you know, like... Yes! This is good stuff right here. Oh yeah, now we're... This is really living. Alright, we're only making rivers from now on. Only rivers. How fun. Alright, well, let's dig ourselves a hole over there. Because there's some of these where the rules of the game are allowing me to put kelp down, even though it's like, that's not a water source block here, you know? But it allowing me to do it for whatever inscrutable reason is going to push this river just marvelously. Maybe a little bit outside of the bounds of what I'm even anticipating. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And kelp is... Hey, Renee. Kelp is such a plentiful resource, too. And, you know, kelp plus bones, which... This is... I mean, it's already growing so fast, right? Like, this is just growing, like, casually in the course of a day. It goes, like, 2 or 3 high, which, you know, in the course of several days... Dies? What even is English? Why am I pretending to speak it? These are questions. Alright, so we just need to remember to not accidentally fall into the roof of the Trial Ruin, and to not accidentally fall into the roof of the Deep Dark that is underneath where we'll be sort of digging this river to. Alright, and also I probably need to make sure I'm on the right track. Yep, seems fine. Oh, a bunch of finding to do. Do I have inventory space? I do not. All right, then we're not going to do that. I winced. I physically winced, even though I knew I wasn't going to hit the wall, and even though I knew if I did, it wouldn't matter. You know, that's the illusion of speed. We've got this nice dirt. So we're going to drop it off here. You can never have enough dirt. Man, I need to get a name for this horse. I need to figure out the horse's role in all of this, you know. Are we going to build like a secret tunnel between here and the base where we can ride the horse back and forth for emergencies and then we can sing the secret tunnel song from Avatar: The Last Airbender? I hope so. I hope that's what happens. That doesn't get me any closer to a name for the horse, though. Hey, Tablet. Alright, so we'll just toss the iron here, and the flints, because I'm accidentally carrying them. The wheat seeds, oh man. How many of those can we part with? Alright, yeah, seems fine. Let's go brawl. Because we are going to need gunpowder before too long anyway. And no matter how much you want to be, like, an elegant person who, you know, changes the natural world, what you really have to do is, I should probably make a gate there, Yeah, I should. You should be a person that makes a gate there. That's what I should do. Because you know, after all we've been through here. This iron golem will just have to be outside for an interminable amount of time. He'll be alright. Golems are very sanguine about stuff like this. They've written books about the subject. Or allowed the books to be written, which is the same. Yes, Minecraft, indeed. Alright, so now we're in the rare situation of thinking it would be quite nice to fight against creepers with a sword, since if they blow up anything, it will just be digging I do not have to do. Oh man, and then I can do like a bunch of wheat on both sides of the river, you know, and that will give me an excuse to do it here. And it maintains the source after you break it? Yes, it does. You know, it's not as pretty as leaving it there, but you can just bone meal the ground and get the grasses and stuff if you don't want a kelp-filled river. And this prevents me from having to spend the agonizing 30 seconds it would take to go somewhere else. Natasha, you say it's fun to see the way that different people approach projects. Yeah, I'm sure mine are not always what other people would do. But I'd be interested to hear about yours. If you don't think it'll spoil me. Like, after I hear it, I'll never be able to do it any other way. I do sort of wish I knew what's up with the kelp placement legality, because it's not. Sometimes it lets me put it on stone, or at least it seems like it does. Sometimes it's letting me. Yeah, it definitely lets me put it on stone. Sometimes you can always put it if there's a source block, but sometimes it's just letting me like kind of do it, right? Like none of these have a source block anywhere around them. How could they, right? Like the closest source block is all the way up the thing. You wonder how much wheat I can plant, Natasha? You know, that's a good question, and one that I hope no one ever has the answer to. Life needs some mystery, right? And if not mystery, then life needs, you know, wheat. And I aim to be the person who gets it there. Yeah, and it can go a little wide, and then we can just go, like, find some sand somewhere. Because we also can get, like, a bunch of turtles and just have, like, a nice turtle beach up here. That would be cool. And this river's got to be excellent because I'm ruining an otherwise super beautiful landscape, pristine by spawn, unbesmirched by my hand, essentially this whole time. So this project has to be good, or it was a bad idea, and I'll have to fall over somewhere and pretend I didn't do it on purpose. No, I wouldn't do that. I would only die in Minecraft due to carelessness and neglect, not ever on purpose to be funny or for attention. That's my promise. I'll never, ever try to be interesting. I do love bread. I talk about making bread more than I make it these days, but it is very wonderful. And Minecraft bread is, you know, fine. It's okay. Real bread's where it's at. That's the real good stuff. Because if you just go like so, especially here with like a little bit more vertical stuff going on. These are bad examples because the holes in the carpet, you know, keep it from getting in the carpet in the river. But it'll still be fine, you know. But if you had a regular side of the wall without these divots here, yeah, see, like so, and then you can just you know, force more of the water around in various ways. And before long, you've got like this awesome river going on. But unfortunately, or fortunately rather, we've got a whole bunch of dirt again, so we're gonna deposit it somewhere. Do I have a secret dirt chest in this world? I don't think so. Oh, we can put secret dirt chests inside of the river. That'll be great. Oh, Josh said you first carve the shape, then you get ice and put on the level you want. And then you break it, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Love that. It must be very satisfying to break it, you know, and have it go down, you know, like dominoes all falling into place. Yes, my amazing French bread recipe. It's the same as all other French bread recipes, but you know, like all bread recipes, you just have to know what all the words mean. I remember finding it very daunting when I started baking bread, which was just a little over 2 years ago was when I started baking, like in my private life. You know, I've been a cook, you know, for a living for many years, but didn't really make food at home or anything until a couple years ago. I'd be like, what do you mean just knead it until it's done? That doesn't make any sense. And now I'm like, oh yeah, you just you could just like touch the dough and you'll figure it out, you know. I need more kelp. Well, you know. I have an ocean here, and so I'm uniquely situated by virtue of my position to acquire more kelp. Oh, that looks so cool. Because, like, I would consider an ocean with kelp to be maybe the most renewable of all Minecraft resources, because this is a thing that you just don't even have to think about. Just don't get rid of all of it in the first place, and there will always be kelp for you. Can you eat it? I don't think so. Maybe you can make food out of it and eat that. Think you can make, like, green dye out of it? No? I don't know what you can do. I've never done anything out of kelp. You can dry it, maybe. You can put it into a block, and then you can place the block places. That is a thing I've done. And then I said to myself, I don't know why I would ever put this block somewhere. Maybe you can use it for like sculpture, you know. Dried kelp, yeah. So you dry it, and then, like, if you meet, like, you know, an otter or something, no, they're more like based on mollusks and stuff, aren't they? Gotta remember all the old books I used to read growing up. You know, whenever somebody writes books that are, you know, written for, you know, young people, you gotta just hope they do good research, because I was out here just like reading books where people were growing up on islands by themselves, and I'm like, I guess that's how it works. And I had no way to look it up, You know, it was 1992. I just had to trust that Island of the Blue Dolphins was more or less honest about what it would be like to be a young woman growing up on an island with all of my people gone. Anyway, if you haven't read that book, it's excellent. I think it still holds up. A more or less true story, shockingly. Very, very bleak, but a very, very cool thing by Scott Odell. It's like, I would have read it when I was like, 5 or 6, but it's got, heavy themes. Wild dogs and, the loss of homeland, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's called Island of the Blue Dolphins. It's really cool. So it's like the story of the young woman it's based on. I forget her name off the top of my head because I didn't realize I was going to talk about it today. But there's this island sort of like off the coast of California. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a tribe of people, of indigenous people that lived there. And it's sort of like a novelization of some stuff that went on there. And basically, people, Europeans and stuff, came to trade a few times, and then eventually these trading missions led to a bunch of violence, and then like people came to take her village away, but one thing led to another, and she didn't go with everybody else. So it ended up that she was the last person on the island where her tribe was from, and she lived there by herself for quite some time until she eventually made contact with people and chose to come to the mainland. But a fascinating story, and one done, I think, good, done pretty well by the book. Because this is a book that would have come out in maybe the 80s. I don't think much earlier than that, but it won like the Newbery Awards or whatever. Like when you're looking at a book in elementary school and it's got like the little gold thing on it. Yeah. Well, it is kind of sad, but it's also really cool because it's the story of her learning how strong she is. And the way that her village was set up beforehand, there were more restrictive rules on what people were allowed to do. And even though, she had, dreams, they weren't always the sort of thing that she was able to do. But even though all these terrible things had happened, she was able to, I don't want to be make the best of it, because that's sort of it sort of sounds like there's any positive thing to say about such a tragedy, but it's more like if it was just a book that was made without the real story behind it, I'd be like, man, what are you even doing writing a story like that? But knowing that it is a real thing, I think makes it a very interesting avenue for storytelling. Hello, Kiki. But yeah, it's called Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell, and I loved it whenever I was growing up. And I read it a few years ago again, and I thought it was really good then too. There's these awesome sequences where she learns to make weapons even though she wasn't supposed to, according to the beliefs of her people, and she learns how to make a boat, and she's doing all this awesome stuff, and tangling with the scary denizens of the sea and the island, and it's a really cool book. I've always liked it. What armor trim do I have? Oh, don't let me lie to you. Coast armor trim on the chest, eye armor trim on the helm, and coast on the boots and the pants. Yeah, so mostly coast, and then the eye on the helmet. But it's a cool book too because it's told from her perspective, but she's the only one there for a huge portion of the book. But there's this book, another book I loved growing up was called Robinson Crusoe. Just sort of it's like big famous, right? Like it would have come out in like a long time ago, like maybe late 1600s, like a super long time ago. I don't remember. Coast you probably get from like treasure inside of a boat, or maybe like maybe a buried treasure. Uh, Boat or treasure probably. The eye is probably from the stronghold where you no, not the stronghold. That's not the right. Wherever the Eye of Enders go to. Where you throw them and then there's like the Ender portal and stuff. Is that the stronghold? No, the stronghold's the thing in the Nether. I don't remember what the thing's called. But I think that's where you get the eye from. Yeah, this kelp is this is awesome. This river is gonna go so smooth and wonderful. And then just, every now and then, whenever it's not going how we want it to, we'll just throw some more water up on the sides, and then before long, yeah, fortress, that's right. It's not stronghold, but it's a word that would remind me a whole lot of it. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Look, I've only beat the game one time, right? I've only ever beat the game here. And I built this like highway in the Nether so I wouldn't get lost whenever I was navigating it, where I just like literally like would cut it and put little like waystones along the way whenever I went off in a direction, so that I would always be able to find my way back home. Because even with like the F3 screen, I was like, I don't want to feel the anxiety of not knowing how to get out of this situation if I have to. Renee, you say you took a nap at 7 and can't get back to sleep. Oh, that's the worst. I don't have so much trouble with that. I like a good midday nap, but I usually can get back to sleep whenever I need to. What I find helps me is to watch a invisible spider. Oh, he'll never catch me. Oh no, they've caught me. Like, I need to, like, put on a video essay about something that I think is super interesting, and then turn the volume down pretty low, and then I can fall asleep. Swoop. Ah, yes, swoop. Oh, it would have been a lot cooler if we would have hit with that one. We'll have to settle for that. Alright, well now that that's done with, that's right, I need more gunpowder. Do I have space? Are invisible spiders rare? They're kinda rare. I don't know how rare. I do see them a bunch, but there's also like a very big wide open space right here by the house. And they're not that invisible, right? You know, their eyes do rather glow. It's a thing that I've noticed. I just remember saying so many times in the past, I hate this gunpowder, it's a waste, I never am gonna use this, I don't care. And then, you know, no sooner do I get an elytra than I realize I actually need an arbitrarily large amount of it. Of course, if I had an arbitrarily large amount of it, I would just use TNT instead of digging, become a monster. The very thing the Lorax warned against. That was great when all the, all the kelp grew all at one time and pushed it across here. Oh yeah, good stuff indeed. You say I'm almost at 1,000 subs? Yeah, you know, it could happen any day now, or it could happen in 10 more years. It's impossible to know. My favorite neutral spawning structure. I don't know if I understand the question. What's an example of one? Should probably lay down for the night. If nothing else, so we don't get phantoms again. I'm being attacked. Every time there's a little zombie, it's a very, you're locked in here with me kind of thing. Structures that are already built when you start a world. Okay, just like any shipwreck. Like my favorite shipwrecks are like intact shipwrecks that are like in beaches though. That's probably like my very favorite one. Oh, the ancient city, yeah, that was super stressful. So like woodland mansions are awesome, but I think oh, there's a bunch of zombies here. That's not ideal. Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of them. All right, let's oh boy, okay, so time to think. And by think, I mean shoot the only one of them that's fast, and then deal with the rest of them. We just need to run a little bit here. Getting kind of low. 2.5 hearts. Actually very low. We're just going to keep on running for a second. We could fly away. Unnecessary, though. You know, we still had the idol. We were not in any real danger. And we could have just run away and let them, you know, burn in the sun. But such a heroic effort deserves to be dispatched by my own hand. And not by the icy, fiery hand of the sun. And that's one more time that we didn't go to sleep like we meant to during the night. So that's, oh, because I'm wearing the Elytra, of course. I was like, man, I was really getting trucked there. It's because I was wearing the Elytra. Makes sense. Good night, Renee. But yeah, no, I really, probably just shipwrecks. Yeah, the first couple shipwrecks I ever found were like exhilarating experiences. Like I really liked them. I also very much loved the first time I ever found like a trail ruin. I think they're called the terracotta ones that are underneath. You know, like I find them underneath like spruce forest and stuff. Like I dug it out. I did like a whole like internal like from the perspective of like a first semester anthropology student who stumbled upon it video. This is like super early in my Minecraft days, so I didn't actually know what I was looking at, which sort of helped with it. But I think they were really cool too. The trail ruins. They had like a really good environmental storytelling where, you know, if you wanted to tell yourself a story about what was going on in this place that you had found, it sort of came easily. The worst block. So it pains me to say this, because I love fireflies and I like the update, but the worst block is the firefly bush because they buzz. And it does it. I don't know how to turn it off because you would think it's a friendly creature. So is it like ambient / environment? Anyway, they buzz, and that makes it the worst. The least useful block. Is rotten flesh a block? I don't know. That's a hard one. I have to get back to you on that. Oh, I know the worst block. It's the stone that contains copper. Because it could be something nice like coal or even iron, but it's copper. Hey, that's not fair. You need redstone so you can trade at the vendor to get something. You need redstone so you can make a circuit for your chicken farm that you still haven't built on day 416. Opinion on the Minecraft movie? I think it would be a good idea. They should think about making one. But yeah, I guess redstone's a pretty not useful block too. That's fair. Like, what do I use even less than that? Oh man, I'm having too much fun. And sadly... No, what? No. Oh, that was about to be not too much fun. That was about to be me throwing my beloved rockets away. I need those, man. It's gonna be a repeat of the Shulker incident all over again. We can't live like that again. My poor Shulker. I still don't know what was in it. I never want to know. Don't tell me. Oh right, I can't fill up the buckets with water because my inventory's full. Like, yeah, we don't want it up that high, right? We don't want it any higher than this because it'll be descending down. Descending down? Oh, there's a little bit of non-parsimonious language for you. It'll be descending down, you know, the way things that descend do. Useless. Useless. Alright, well. You know, I thought the Elytra was on. We were going to fly up and look at it and talk about how good we did, but that didn't work out. Because I'm a dummy. Oh yeah, that's awesome progress, right? Yeah, it's oh yeah, it's gonna be great. We'll just throw some sand around it, a couple of turtles, maybe some nice like dogs to frolic around, and then we'll get here and we'll be able to push that whole thing. It's gonna be great. Whoa, almost hitting the wall. Elegant, graceful, stylish. And then, yeah, then we can continue our plans there. Cool. 2 and/or 3 concurrent projects that all sort of are in the same neighborhood. That'll dovetail nicely. And importantly, this river is going to look super awesome when it's done because we'll have the, you know, the ocean in the distance and then this improbably high altitude river. Good stuff. I was gonna read this super sad poem by Edna St. Vincent Millay, but I'll save it for another day. That way we won't bring the sad poem into this video. We're having such a good time. It's a good one though. It's a real good one. I was reading it before I started. A seed for Garuda, the boss. And of course, I invite you to sit, stand, or kneel for the national anthem as you prefer. Luca, absolutely partying. I like how we've got like Bella and Calcite just chilling underneath the dragon head now. You go in, you look to the left, and there's a dragon head, and then the other's even more dangerous. Garuda's gonna be so proud of this river. That's right, you can jump on the bed. That's fun. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. I finally found something to do that I was engaged with in Minecraft, so, we're probably going to be playing Minecraft again, like, probably every day, or, nearly every day, at least in some chunk, just, working on this and trying to get it done. Sort of in between other games at the moment, so that'll let us go to this. And y'all know I like digging holes in the stone. I am a dwarf. And, I think the river's gonna look really good. I really do. And if it doesn't, then I'll make another one on top of or inside of where the other one was. Because now that with the kelp and knowing a little more now how to make like a big massive area for a river, because the canals, man, like that was laborious work, right? Putting an individual water bucket every single block, well, every other alternating block, for the entire span of it. I mean, it was worth doing, but I wouldn't have wanted to do it, 7 more times on the breadth of it. But now, like, it's a good way to get it all done. So I'm excited for the future there. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night, Kiki Nug and Brick Salad, right? Tablet. Good night, Natasha. Thanks for hanging out. It's great to see you. And perhaps I'll see you guys in another streamer video. It's off to bed for me. Short day tomorrow. Probably gonna play some Geometry Dash tomorrow afternoon. If you're watching in the future, disregard all the time-sensitive information. See you guys.